Hello and welcome to Demons and Wizards and Dragons and Fire, an actual play tabletop podcast. I'm Jonathan, and with me at the table is Colton. Hey. Alan.
I'm Alan.
Shane.
Hello.
And Waleed.
Hello.
Waleed's going to be our DM, because we're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e. Waleed, tell us about the game we're playing.
So, basically, what we're doing today, we're...
For episode 0.
For episode 0, we're doing kind of an origin story type deal with each of our characters, kind of giving you a background with...
And ourselves.
And ourselves, personally, with our experiences within the Dungeons & Dragons world. And, you know, we all come from different various backgrounds and experiences. So we'll be able to bring a lot of different elements to the table in that sense. So I'm, as we said, Waleed, and I am the DM. I've been playing at least 10 years now. Started with 3.0 and just kind of dropped... recently into 5e within the last year or so. So this has been a bit of a change, but it's a fantastic format so far. So I'm going to turn it over now to Alan, who will be our first descriptor.
Tonight. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I've been playing probably for about the same amount of time as Waleed, 10 years or so. Now, I started with 3.5. Did we start with 3.0 or 3.5?
You started with 3.5.
Okay, yeah, I started with 3.5 because I think Waleed had been playing for easily, like, maybe a year or two after I met
Did
him.
an old man in the basement teach you?
Yes, I actually learned from our Uncle Craig, my friend Sean's cousin, or uncle, excuse me. So 10 years might be a lie. It's probably more like 12 or 13.
Yours is probably like 12, 13.
Because he showed us how to play on... we started with 3 was when I really learned how to play, but he did show us on version 2 or advanced. That's what but we also played a bunch of different D20 based tabletops with him too. So I really got a lot of experience really early with that. So,
but yeah, so mine's probably around 10 years, 10 or 11 years or so. Maybe not consecutive, but anyway, my character is Milo Stout. He is a halfling druid, and basically he spent his life when he grew up wandering in the hills and the woods, finding sticks. It's his favorite thing to do, you know. Anyway, while he was young, because wandering around because he's a druid.
Okay. I will say he didn't find out he was a druid.
Essentially,
Alan the character.
This is Alan the character.
Essentially, yes. I decided to make myself as a D&D character. It's me, except I'm smaller.
Still as hairy.
Probably as hairy and as plump.
He's a simple boy.
Is he bald?
Like you? No, because this has to be some form of fantasy. And I need to live some kind of dream. No, okay, so yeah, he's me in high school when I peaked.
As we all do in high school.
Buddy, that's rough.
That is a low mountain.
Well, we are doing a Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
As men in our late 20s.
I'm almost 30. Anyway, Milo Stout.
I forgot how old I was today.
What?
I was driving here. I was like, am I 26 or 27?
I've done that. At the same age, I was doing the same thing. I'm like, how the hell
It doesn't matter anymore.
All right, Milo Stout.
We're at that age.
Okay, yeah, Milo Stout enjoyed walking in the woods as a young child, and from there he encountered basically like a fey spirit, fey creature that pretty much taught him the ways of nature, and that's how he ended up growing up to become a druid. So now the reason why he's on his own little quest right now is because as he got older, he started seeing his friend less and less, and then finally she all disappeared. So now he's trying to figure out where she went. So because of that, she taught him the druid language, the ways of the druid, and which, by the way, his specific path is the Circle of the Shepherd. Ooh. We'll get into that later on.
I feel like
from the expansions.
I think how we're going to brand this podcast, it's more by fans for fans, because I don't think this is going to be like an introductory podcast. Like if you haven't played D&D before, listen to this. There's other better podcasts for that. We're just playing
because we like to play.
If we like to play, we want you guys to listen.
We're just going to record it.
We're just going to record it. We don't have time to teach you to play D&D. I'm sorry.
There's YouTube.
Because there's
YouTube. There's books. There's so many formats.
Right. Yes.
Check it out. If you're interested, Stop listening. Go play it.
Your friend might have an uncle that can teach you.
Yes.
In a basement.
In a basement.
It wasn't your uncle.
It was my friend's uncle.
His friend's uncle.
In his trailer.
This gets worse.
No, Uncle Craig's fucking fantastic. Anyway, Colton.
Okay. Colton.
Yeah. So, I'm Colton. My experience with D&D is incredibly limited compared to Waleed and Alan. This will be my second official playthrough.
Campaign.
I haven't done a campaign before.
That's a word you're going to be using.
Okay. Yeah. See, I didn't even know that. So, yeah. I'm incredibly fresh to this, and I'm excited to learn a lot. But my character is going to be a guy named Daco. He is a hill dwarf. And he's fairly young. His history for a dwarf, yeah, for sure. So his history is that at a young age he was kidnapped. So he had always liked the idea of being an adventurer and going out and doing things. And this was kind of thrust upon him because he was kidnapped by slavers, and they sold him to a bunch of pirates. So this leads him to become a swashbuckler dwarf.
Hell yeah!
Probably the best combination.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going for here. So, he was sold to pirates at a young age. He's probably around 20 when this happens, and for the next 15 years of his life, he is a captain. He's not a captain. He works with a captain named Josue Hornigold.
Hornigold.
Yeah.
You went through a list of pirates. You're like, that's
Totally
the
did.
one.
I totally did.
Not Hornigold.
No.
Hornigold.
Hornigold.
Emphasis. Yeah, on that
Yeah.
right there.
So Josue Hornigold bought him, but he took a liking to him fairly quickly. So young Daco is a smooth and also charismatic young dwarf. So for the next 15 years, they developed this relationship and they become friends.
You a cabin boy?
To start, for sure.
Cabin dwarf.
But I was
Cabin
small
dwarf.
and I could,
For
and as a rogue, so that's another thing. As a rogue for young Daco, he was small. He could fit into things. He could sneak into areas fairly quickly.
Provided if they were wide enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
They are.
saw this opportunity and took it. So he took a liking to him mostly because he was cunning and witty. Daco's funny. So basically, Josue raised me.
Is he
and,
handsome?
Oh, hell yeah.
Who, the captain or Daco?
Horny gold. Talking about that horny gold.
Hornigold, for sure, is a handsome man.
They're all a handsome crew.
And yeah, Daco learned everything he knows about being a ladies' man and being cunning and witty from Captain Hornigold.
I'm picturing a captain in short shorts.
Just some dukes.
It is not it's not out of the realm of possibility.
And a low V?
Low V's, some dukes.
So,
Big
Daco,
hat, though.
about 10 years into his
Tutelage.
career,
Yeah.
tutelage as a young pirate, got married, and Captain Hornigold was the best man in his wedding. So,
yeah.
Daco has been, Hornigold has been the best man in one of Daco's weddings, and
One
yeah,
of.
one of, and Daco has been the best man in 6 of Captain Hornigold's weddings.
Why don't they just get married?
That's right. So, about 15 years into this relationship, they parted ways on good terms. Daco was no longer a slave; he had earned his freedom, and from time to time, even now, Daco can call in favors because Captain Hornigold is still a pirate. So, if we need transportation somewhere, Daco can call in.
And that's for your sailor background.
Exactly.
Little feature.
Yeah, Captain Hornigold, he can call him in, and we can get a
Free ride.
free ride places. But also,
the Hornigold?
Hornigold could call in favors for us as well. So
That's fun.
y'all.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. That's how friendship works.
Two-way stream?
Yeah.
Two-way Sesame Street. Sunny day.
Oh my god.
All right, and that's Daco.
Fantastic. Hey, it's me, Jonathan, again.
He's back.
I'm back. Okay, so I'm playing Talik. I multi-class for this one. And that's...
John's that player.
I'm that player.
Mid-maxer.
It's not
no,
really.
that's Shane.
That's Shane. Not
Not anymore.
This is... It was a difficult build because 5e has the weird.
How long you been
like-
playing, John?
I've been playing since college, so about holy shit, like 7 years.
Yeah, it was like 2012, 2011 when we
Been
started
playing
playing.
since you met Waleed?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, you're kind of the little...
You're my Uncle
everyone's-
Craig.
You're all our Uncle Craig, John. Waleed, you've lived your dream. You've become as good as Uncle Craig.
Uncle Craig was in you the entire time, and there's a little bit of Uncle Craig's in us.
I hope
Yeah, so I've been
really
playing since
is.
college with 3.5.
Yes.
And yeah, I've been doing that. We never did. I'd done 4.
Well, we do 4 kind of sucked.
4 kind of sucked. I did 4 online, and maybe some other time I'll tell those stories, and that was rough. Because I played with those people, those weirdos,
Oh yeah.
that try to do like anime character stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that, and that was.
Nice. How many Sasuke's were there?
I'll tell you this real quick. There was a guy that he was introduced like. He was like introduced like Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. He came out
course.
of Crypt.
Well, they all are, yes.
And then when he opened up, he started just like, "Why am I awake?" Because this was all in chat.
So he's also notating that...
Notating, and he's like, "Why am I here?" And he just went, like he was screaming.
Oh.
And then I was playing with our mutual friend Jesse, and we're like, "We got to get out of here. We got to stop doing this."
Out of here.
But yeah, I've been playing for about that, and then of course we all sort of migrated to 5e when it sort of a little later after it came out. I don't know when
I
we
do
started
love
picking
it.
it up.
I think we picked
were-
it up. I picked up the player's
You picked it
handbook
up
as soon as
first.
it dropped. I
Yeah.
loved it,
But
too.
we were midst a big 3.5 campaign that I was running.
That's right.
Yeah.
Until
So that's why we didn't jump into it right away.
And we
Yeah.
ended up just doing our research then and then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm playing Talik. He is a goblin because I love my goblins. He's a level 2 warlock because we're all starting at level 3. I think we didn't mention.
Yeah.
And so he's level 2 warlock and a level 1 wizard. I'm gonna stick with the wizard part. So the sort of story is that goblins are not naturally wizards because they're dumb. I'll put it out
Right.
there.
That's a fact.
They can't really normally can't read, but I like goblins and I like wizards, so I was like, let's try to make this work even story wise. So I tried to like the stories he's been like kind of uplifted. He's kind of Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have sort of like I sort of have a backstory. Varden Kane was an old human necromancer, and he sort of took like a pack of goblins. I think they come in packs.
Of course.
A school.
Packs of 4.
A school of
A
goblins?
school of goblins, and he sort of did mad
official.
experiments on to
it'd
leak
be
sort
herd.
of a herd of
I think I
goblins?
heard of goblins.
No, I like school. Let's stick with school.
School of goblins.
That's
Maybe.
canon.
And he can't really remember.
Yeah.
He can't really remember the time he was a goblin. Because really, like, his brain was the main thing that was experimented on. Maybe he doesn't even have a goblin brain anymore. But he doesn't really know. It's all foggy.
As it should be.
Foreshadowing. And then, so he was under the sort of, just like, a kind of another kind of slave scenario
Right.
with, under this necromancer. But the, Varden Kane had a apprentice, Elosarian, a half-elf wizard, who sort of took Talik under his wing, was sort of that nice guy in a shithole situation. Started teaching Talik magic, and eventually Varden Kane and Ellison sort of had a falling out, and they sort of had a big old, I would say like an 80s power metal wizard fight, as I like to picture it. Just like lightning bolts, big titted women.
Like that one episode of Gorgoth the Barbarian.
Yeah.
The only episode.
The only episode because it got
only
canceled like
episode.
soon
Yeah.
after, did not.
It only got the pilot. It was that and Metalocalypse. And
I need to watch that 'cause I still haven't
Metalocalypse
seen it.
won.
So yeah, Talik was kind of pissed off because he still has his goblin tendencies, like stabbing people, and he was like, "I'm gonna fuck this necromancer up." Oh. So he took a revenge route, but he's like, "I don't know enough wizardry to take him on."
Right.
So he decided to go a different route, hence Warlock, take a patron, and so he just looked through the books. He didn't know what he was looking for, and found through the books many tomes of this necromancer's sort of lair. Nephron, Lord of Bats. So, like, it's weird
Baths?
when you look through the... Jesus Christ.
Lord of Baths?
Sorry.
Lord of Bats.
Baths?
Bats.
Baths?
Oh my god, shut up.
So, there's not much if you look in the book, there's not really much on the patrons. You kind of do after your own research. And all he really said about what I found is that he just likes to give pacts with warlocks. And I was like, well, I guess I got to fill that out. So I figured, like, the Archfey in general are sort of, like, kind of... They're not gods. They're more, like, trickster, malevolent kind of beings. Mm-hmm. So I figured, like...
They're more like, almost sort of like demons in a way.
Yeah, they're like, demons, but sort of like, fairies in a way, too.
Yeah.
And I sort of just thought, like, let's say, like, Nephilim's like, yeah, Goblin, let's see what you...
They don't really care what's happening in our world.
They did it, and, like, I think later on, sort of the pact, Nephilim's like, hey, do this one thing for me every once in a while. Minor things, nothing crazy. And so that's sort of the negotiations they had. Yeah. So the first was like, yeah, have fun. Let's see what you do. And Talik, as he's known, he sort of thinks he killed the Necromancer. I don't know. Let's see what happens. And then sort of from that layer, sort of took, like, he made his own spell book and left.
So he's both wizard and warlock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For some reason, I missed that.
Yes. So he got that power to kill the Necromancer through the warlock pact.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, now I'm out. He's sort of like, he has a staff. He's sort of like, it was his master's staff, but he kind of cut it in half because it was too tall. So it's like, you see, like, it's kind of thick, and he just has, like, a cut-off thing, and then, yeah, now he's just trying to be a wizard now.
Nice.
Okay.
Shane.
Okay, well, I'm Shane, and I've been playing since we started 3.5. Like, how long was that? Like 10 years ago, nearly, or
10 for you guys.
Yeah, me and Shane both started. Me and Shane are brothers.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, we also sound nearly the same.
We sometimes sound alike too. So yeah.
I don't hear that.
Not in person.
You have
Not
no
in
idea.
person. No.
When I used to call them on the phone in high school, it was like I talked to Alan for like 30 minutes thinking it was Shane,
and I didn't tell him otherwise.
And he'd also do the same thing, vice versa, with me. He'd be talking to me thinking it's Alan, and we just wouldn't let him know.
It was a terrible game.
Yeah.
I used to call
you.
them when they were watching America's Funniest Home Videos.
That did happen a lot.
And
Yes.
Me and Danny did that.
Really?
Yeah, back in high, like...
Well, Lead would always call me after I got out of the shower.
Shane was
all the
naked
time.
like 50%.
Yeah,
of the time.
90% of our conversations, I was just in a towel.
How did you know this?
Really
Like,
spearheading
you had
that Uncle Craig.
You knew his.
Oh no, I just told him. I was like,
schedule,
I
and
knew.
You planned this out. Oh,
I
yeah.
knew. I was just like, Shane's naked. Time to call him.
anyways, yeah, like I was playing since the 3.5, and yes, I was a what is it? A mid-maxer. Yeah, I
or
was
Munchkin, as some people call
Munchkin. Yeah, like because in 3.5 you can. It's
They had so many
there are
books.
loopholes after loopholes after loopholes where you can make things happen in that one.
Oh yeah.
But I got out of that when we got 5e because like 5e was so much easier to make a character, and I was like, oh, I can't really mid-max in this, and I like mid-maxing's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I mean,
Multi-classing, I regret doing this, but I'm sticking with it. But
yeah, but it's a lot of work, and like I'm like, okay, I'm tired of that. So I finally, starting 5e, I've actually decided to start focusing on just like role play with characters.
Yeah. Well,
and action.
5e is very role play focused.
Yeah, I know, which is
3.5 is
great,
mechanics.
honestly.
Yeah, 3.5 is all about that battle.
Yeah, because like once you get all the battle out of your system, this is where the substance is, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
I think, well, it's simple enough that you can add that substance.
Yeah.
Like with like backgrounds, you can be like,
Yeah.
Usually, if you're like a rogue, I'll just do the criminal background. But you can be like, no, I was a
was an
closer
urchin.
cleric or whatever, like that one scholar
Yeah.
would is like. You can just make that character that combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am playing Nicholas Van Kirk. He is a human rogue inquisitive. Basically, he's kind of a detective. Like, I guess you could say kind of like on the Sherlock Holmes side or whatever, I guess, because
I thought you were saying he was more of a noir type.
Well, he's like noir style.
I think I would say Sherlock Holmes spectrum, like autism.
Yes, exactly. with a horrible heroin addiction. No, actually, he does have a serious smoking problem. He's an aggressive smoker.
Very nice.
Like every now and then, he just comes
He
out
yells at a
acting
pack.
hard.
He just
What does he
yells at-
smoke?
Yeah, he smokes cilantro 100s. But he bounces from brand to brand, so.
Just whatever he can get his hands on.
Whatever he can get his hands on. I mean, it's.
What are some fantasy cigarette brands?
I don't know.
We gotta think of some.
Can you sell?
Yeah.
Cilantro 100s now,
Does
apparently.
he partake in the magic moss?
No, it
From
messes,
the
it messes
Kush
with his
bush.
ability.
Lee's making references to an older campaign.
He's alienating 100% of our audience right now.
I'm so sorry. It's so hard.
And yeah, basically, yeah, he has think of like an old noir setting. Like, I mean, he even monologues in his head every now and then, you know.
Don't
that,
we all?
That light jazz music playing in the background.
Just a slow trumpet that
But-
builds.
He's around middle aged. He's like 38, about 38, with salt and peppered hair, kind of black hair or whatever. And he has large, dark circles underneath his eyes from, you know, smoking and not getting a lot of sleep. All sorts of.
you
He
know,
doesn't look like a healthy man
Because he's trying to solve the case.
because he's got to solve the case. He just.
He's not like.
What am I doing
He's not
here?
overweight, is he?
No, he's not overweight.
You can be unhealthy and not
Oh, I
overweight.
didn't know. I'm just trying to like picture what I'm picturing in my
Okay.
head.
Oh no, he's more of a taller, kind of lankier man.
Like a Dick Tracy type.
I guess you can, if you want to imagine
I
it
don't
that
know.
way.
He's
got
never
a-
really looked at any of the Dick Tracy.
He's got a 5 o'clock shadow going on.
So John
he's got
Hamm.
He's got some pin
John
straight.
Hamm.
Think John Hamm. Yeah,
John
Thank John Hamm, but
Because
unhealthy.
John Hamm was in Mad Men was pretty unhealthy.
That's
pretty
true.
unhealthy.
His diet was cigarettes and alcohol.
That's right.
perfect.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got some pinstripe pants with some Tidwells. I guess a nice pair of black Tidwells.
Why are you looking at me to?
Whatever the fantasy version would be of that.
They can just be not fantasy titwills.
They just.
I want them to be fantasy Tidwells. Okay.
That's why my guy has
But
hair.
also, he has, if you guys know about, like, detective gun vests, he has one of
Of
those,
course.
but he
Like a
can't.
trench coat?
No, not a
No,
trench
a
coat.
gun
A
vest.
gun vest, if you ever, look it up, you'll see. But, he carries his wand in it, so it's kind of like his firearm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because you took that magic initiative feat.
Yeah, I took, which that'll come into play in his backstory. I took the magic initiative feat, which gives you, for those that want to know, it gives you 2 cantrips and 1 level 1 spell. And I chose Eldritch Blast, Minor Illusion, and Hex, which works pretty well with his insightful fighting feature.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of my mid-maxing come out, but I mean, it
Well,
works.
mine expands.
It works well. But yeah, when he was young, he used to hang out with his uncle a lot. Like, his uncle was
Uncle
on the
Craig.
his uncle Craig. He hung out with his uncle a lot.
God, I hope he listens to this.
He hung out with his uncle a lot, and he usually kind of taught him, I guess you could say, the ropes of like detective work and stuff. Until one day, his uncle was kidnapped by a group of sorcerers, actually, and through a whole bunch of weird, crazy arc things that happened, they were put into a kind of a crazy contest where it was basically an old Western shootout, but with wands, where all these
yeah.
sorcerers,
Hell yeah.
like his uncle was also like blessed with magic, like he could use magic, but
sorcerer?
Van Kirk himself or Nicholas himself can't. But basically, what happened, like every morning, there would be 2 people would come up, and basically it's a quick draw. Whoever shoots first kills the other person, and his uncle actually ends up winning it. And when he wins it, they're supposed to be able to be let go, be set free, but that's not exactly what happened, because they were like, okay, we'll let your son go free, but not your son, but let your nephew go free, but not you. And they were like, that's not part of the deal. And
Never is.
it never is part of the deal. But no, this is where the traumatizing part comes. They were like, okay, we'll let you both go free, but there's a catch. And they put him into a noose. His uncle into a noose. And gave his nephew a wand.
Gave Nick.
Gave Nick, yes.
Nick a
gave
wand.
Nick a wand. And also, before that, just to let you know, his uncle ends up giving him a little bit of magic just so he could, like, defend himself.
Actually use it, yeah.
Yeah, so he could actually use it. But this was earlier on, and but that's where the whole magic initiate fee comes in.
Okay.
Like, he got it from his uncle.
Is he a Nick or a Nicholas? Which does he prefer to go by?
He prefers to go by Nick, honestly, but his name is Nicholas. But his uncle always called him Nick.
Okay.
But what they told him to do is they were like,
Nick
you
Stoller.
get.
Just don't call him late for dinner.
Just don't get him late for dinner. But they had his uncle strung up and told him, you get 3 shots. If you can shoot the rope and knock him down with 3 shots, we'll let you both go free.
I love shooting rope.
And poor old Nick, he missed 3 times, and
Oh, he just got his power.
yeah, he missed 3 times, and they
Should've
killed his
picked
uncle.
He should have picked Magic Missile then.
Yeah, he was a child. He didn't know the best spell to pick.
Pick Magic Missile. I hate Magic Missile.
I do too. Honestly.
I love Magic
It's
Missile because
lame.
it's awesome.
But to wrap
Controversial
to wrap up, he killed he missed. They hung him, and the young Nick gets his father's wand, and he's holding, or not his father's, but his uncle's wand, and basically he sits there and sobs.
Those bastards.
Is this-
And all of a sudden, they send him back to his homeland,
And that's still-
he's forced to live with that.
This is still the wand he uses today?
It's still the wand he uses today as his
Look at
uncle's
that.
wand.
That's
Yeah.
just such a complete background story. I like it.
But for the rest of his days into his adulthood, he focused on being like a trade sheriff. So he's used to traveling all around the continent to other continents, making sure trade routes stay safe. And also gets the investigative services feature where if we're in any kind of town that has technically the thing says Hills Far, but I don't know if we're going to be.
See, I think that was probably from the
Yeah.
Swords Coast book. I
Yeah,
think,
exactly, but
which is fine. We can
I know,
flip
like
it.
basically, he knows people in the law community and everywhere, and he's also really proficient at picking out criminal
cleanest
dens.
he can talk shop.
He can talk shop,
Right.
Yeah.
and he's good at telling if someone is up to some kind of
to
criminal
no good.
activity.
Yeah.
That kind
So
of
they
thing.
show the signs to him.
That's right.
But basically, he also strives to find the sorcerers that put him and his uncle into that horrible contest. And
Fantastic.
that's
playing with
virtually
dice.
it.
Wally,
A little bit of ASMR.
oh no.
So,
Wally, tell us
so
about
horny.
Oh my god.
Uncle Craig. Tell us about our setting a little bit. You got it.
By the way, Waleed's mic is slowly dropping.
I am slowly slouching over.
We'll fix it before we start
The real episode.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, well, so the campaign setting that I'm working in is loosely based off based off Forgotten Realms. I'm going to probably be using some of the major landmark cities within the Forgotten Realms story or map,
And everything else is sort of just
but
like,
everything else is going to be kind of a freehand, just me making up
it's
names.
Forgotten
and
Realms
things
with
like
an
that.
asterisk.
Yeah, basically.
I think they all are.
I think, yeah.
Or at
I
least-
mean, because
think they should be.
we're gonna work with the Sword Coast is gonna be one of our first backdrops for the actual story, but also Neverwinter and all that good stuff like that. So be expecting to hear a lot, but you might hear some names or two that you might recognize if you know something about the D&D lore, because a lot of 5e is based within the Forgotten Realms world anyway.
And I will say, I don't know. I think we're still deciding what we want to do with this podcast, like pushing forward. We know we're going to play this.
Yes.
I don't know if we're going to do a long form campaign, a short form, and then like switch DMs. We've talked about it.
Yeah. I've actually got a couple of concepts already.
I do too. I feel like it might be nice if like Waleed's like the standard, and then we'd be like, hey, let me
Yeah.
do an episode or two.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out. But hey,
We'd
you'll be
love to
along for the
hear
ride.
your opinion
Yeah.
on that as we go. If I
Also,
suck,
who
let
has
me know.
the sexiest voice?
We will
also
I think
Definitely Colton.
Probably
Hey.
Colton.
Hey.
Colton's
By
got-
the time we release all this, we should have an email and some other social media set up, and then we'll probably look in the video description of this. The podcast description of this.
for all of our fancy things.
fancy things.
There'll be a link in the description below.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Please.
Please.
I need this.
I need this.
Any final words before we actually get into this? Don't. Okay.
My catchphrase.
What is it? This is your one chance.
Pussy.
You son of a bitch. Okay.
Oh, you had to do it.
Thanks for listening. This has been Demons and Wizards, Dragons of Fire. And then listen to next time when we actually start playing. Rolling some dice.